Hello everyone, welcome to my third vlog, dealing with panic attacks. I'm just going to talk a little bit about panic attacks and triggers and different tips and stuff. A huge thank you to everyone who has contributed to this. There are too many people to thank individually, but so many people sent messages in, which was really cool. I was really happy about that. And there were some really cool little bits of advice and stuff that I'm definitely going to give a try out, and I'll read those out a little bit later on. So big thanks to everyone. Obviously, just remember I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just chatting about it. Just someone that's been through it all, that's trying to give some advice and stuff. Firstly, though, what I want to talk about is when I was researching this, and when my friend was as well, that's helped me out with loads of, like a huge bulk of the advice in this. We were researching it, and there's just, when you research like panic attacks and stuff, there are some ridiculous sites out there that kind of tell you exactly what a panic attack is. And there was one that said, oh look, it's only a panic attack if you have 4 of these things, and then listed a load of symptoms. And I'd maybe had one of those symptoms. You can't tell anyone what a panic attack is. You can't put a label on a panic attack. Everyone's is so different. Everyone's symptoms are different. Everyone's triggers are different. And how everyone's gonna kind of overcome them and it is going to be different as well. So don't let research get you down, but I think it is really important to do your research. The amount of stuff, I literally just typed in panic attack tips, and the amount of stuff that's come up online is really helpful, which is where I've got some of these little tips and tricks from. But yeah, don't let research get you down. I think it's quite alienating to be trying to find out about something that you're, you know, anxious about, and to be told that you're almost like not doing it right. I just thought that was really silly. Yeah, so panic attack triggers. I think it's really important to know your triggers, kind of learn what exactly they are. Everyone's, again, like I said, everyone's is so different. I personally get triggered by when like I'm not feeling in control of my body, like if I'm like really hot, or if I'm in a new environment, or if I've run too much, etc. So that's kind of my triggers, and I'm aware that like one of my close friends, their trigger is because like that a really small thing will happen in their head, and their mind will kind of blow it way out of proportion, and they won't be able to get out of get out of that, their mind kind of blowing it out of proportion, like it's going, you know, it's a really scary thing. And it might be the most logical thing and have a really logical answer to it, but they just can't quite see that, and it just brings the panic attack on. I was talking to a friend who started taking the pill, and that brought on a load of symptoms of mental health and panic attacks. Everyone's triggers are completely different, but it's important to kind of know what your triggers are, but not to avoid your triggers. Know what they are, but don't avoid them. Otherwise you're never gonna get over them, and you're gonna get more anxious about maybe accidentally running into your trigger kind of thing. So don't avoid them. It's important to carry on, like try and carry on your daily life normally and everything. Yeah. Okay, so the little tips and tricks that me and my friend put together, we're just going to talk about those first. So I downloaded a load of apps, but the 2 that I really liked, the first one is called Be Okay. So the thing I really liked about this is just how direct it is. When you're having a panic attack, it can be so difficult to like do the smallest task, which would normally be so easy, like unlocking your phone, scrolling through your phone book and calling someone can just seem impossible. So you open this app, and it's got a start button in the middle that you can click to, and the circle goes in and out, and you're meant to follow it with your breathing, and it's meant to calm your breathing down. Then just under that there's a phone call button, and you link whoever you want to that phone call. So I linked my mum to it, for example, and you just call it, and it just calls them straight away. There's none of that faff. And I just thought that was really helpful. Then there's a little page where you can record your panic attacks, what time they were, where you were, what you were doing, how it made you feel, which I thought kind of linked in really nicely with knowing your triggers. Kind of doing that, it has like a calendar, and you can see when you've had a panic attack last and how long in between them, and exactly what triggered them, for example. I just thought that was really nice to have written down. And then you can have a cute little page where you can import pictures that calm you down, dogs, food, etc. The other app that I found is called Panic Shield. Panic Shield is really informative. There's a guide on it, which I haven't read the whole way through yet, but it's got some really nice little tips and whatnot in there. Let's see. Again, it has like the breathing guide that you can breathe in and out with. And then it has this thing called internal exposure and external exposure, which were just really eye-opening. So internal exposure, when I first read about it, I was like, this is utter madness, but it's actually it's really interesting. You essentially bring on the symptoms of a panic attack, the physical symptoms of a panic attack, so that you can calm them down yourself and you're in control of them. So it has things like breathe through a straw for 60 seconds, or jump up and down, or run on the spot, or spin around. That's going to elevate your heart, that's going to get some adrenaline going, but you're going to be in control of it. So yeah, it talks about it much more on the guide and goes through it a lot more. But it's really, I think it's a really interesting thing to look into, and I'm definitely going to give it a try and do a vlog about it and see how that helps, because that's one of the main things when you're having a panic attack. The physical symptoms make you panic more, because you're like, why is my heart racing? Why have I got this rush of energy? Like, you know, why am I feeling nauseous, etc., etc. So to be able to bring those on yourself and then control them, I think it's really good. And then it's got an external exposure page where you write down things that make you triggers almost, or you know, social situations that scare you, or places that scare you, and you write down those, and you go and you put yourself in those situations, which I think is really helpful. You can't hide away from situations like this. Okay, so yeah, so sprays and herbals. I used to swear by a spray, and it's just a herbal. You can get it in pharmacies or online or whatever, and you literally just spray it in your mouth, 2 sprays, when you're feeling a little bit anxious. And I think it was just doing something physical like that would really calm me down. I don't love herbal medications otherwise. I don't find that they really work for me, but they might work for someone else. But the spray I really, really liked. It's easy, carry it in your pocket, carry it anywhere. And whenever I was feeling ever so slightly anxious, I just sprayed it in my mouth and took a deep breath in, and that really helped. Or herbal medicines, maybe calms, or you can get loads of different like gummy sweets, or there's millions of them out there. Find what works for you. Embracing it, ride the wave, kind of, you know, it's the fight or flight thing that a lot of people talk about when it comes to panic attacks, and it's about fighting it, riding through it, kind of trying to see it through, and just saying, oh, what was it my friend said? He had a really good kind of little analogy. It was not asking why this is happening, but asking yourself what is happening and how am I going to respond to this, which for me, just that little nugget of that little kind of sentence really stuck in my head, and I really like the idea of it. But yeah, it's about doing that, you know, trying to control it, seeing it through. I'm having a panic attack, I've had it before and I've survived, and I'm going to get through this one. Let's ride through it. Taking yourself out of the situation. For me, I had a panic attack a couple of days ago. I was at the pub with my family having a roast dinner, and I could feel it coming on. So I just took myself outside. I just said, just need a little bit of fresh air, I'm just going to go out. And I immediately felt like 20% better. Just took some huge, like, you know, deep breaths, just sat there for a minute by myself, and I went back in. Then I had an actual panic attack. It really hit me. And I just my mum came outside with me. Again, like, I just needed to get out in there. It was very, like, the lighting was low, and it was crowded and just loud, and just take yourself out of the situation for a minute. Go outside or go to a less crowded place, just for a few minutes. Having someone to call or talk to, I think this is a really important one. For me, saying the words, I'm having a panic attack, makes me feel 10% better. Just, oh, hang on, I've written down a really good little nugget. Anxiety held in holds more power. I thought that kind of just sums that up for me. Having someone to talk to, someone that you trust, a close friend or family member that you've got, that you can put like on that little link on the app or something, that you've told that you have a panic attack. So you're not just calling them and just for the first time ever, they don't know that this is going to happen and whatnot. They're prepared, you're prepared, you trust them, and you can just talk through whatever's happening. It's really, I just think it's a really nice thing. I always call my mum or talk to my mum when I'm having a panic attack, and she's never had a panic attack before, but she really calms me down. Oh yeah, okay, let's read other people's. So, again, huge thanks to everyone that sent these in. I'm just going to read them out. So, if I can feel one coming, I run cold water over my wrist to calm me down, or I sing in my head a calming song. Try your favourite song. So I've never heard of this running cold water over your wrist one, but apparently it's quite a common thing apparently because like the veins are so, I can't remember what Leek said. So because the veins are so close to your skin, it kind of cooling them down sends it all around your body. So for me, if I'm going to have a panic attack, I go boiling hot, like so warm. So yeah, I thought that was a really nice one. Just find the nearest tap or something cold to put on your wrists, or sing a calming song in your head. Smells. I keep my favourite essential oils near, even if it's just a drop on my wrist or something, it really helps. So that's really helpful. I had a message from someone that said they carry lavender around in a bottle, so whenever they're feeling ever so slightly nervous, they just open it and have a little sniff. So, or your favourite perfume, or an incense stick, or just something that's going to calm you down. We've kind of spoken about this one, but ride the storm. Panic and excitement are very similar. Use the energy. Shake, shout, and jump. So one of the physical symptoms that happens when you start having a panic attack is you get a huge rush of adrenaline. So even if it's just like pacing about, it like an exertion of energy can be really helpful, as opposed to sitting there and you've got this huge rush of adrenaline inside you and it's going nowhere. Fake it till you make it. I told myself I was confident, held my head high rather than being all bunched up. After a while, it really helped. Since reading this, I've really thought about this one a lot. It is just to fake it, have a nice fake it till you make it attitude. Don't let the panic attacks and the fear of them get you down. Don't let them make you feel constantly afraid and bunched up, and just trick the panic attack. You know, walk down the street with your head held high, like it says, and tell yourself you feel confident and you're going to be okay and you're feeling relaxed. I love that one. So, not much sure if I can say this right. Propranolol helped massively with physical symptoms and gave me a chance to focus on what I was feeling in my head, so I could start changing those thought processes. Medication's not for everyone. It can take a really long time to find one that's right for you, but there are ones that work out there for people. I've been on duloxetine for 2 years and I didn't have a panic attack for 2 years until a couple of weeks ago when I started coming off of them. They do work for people, so give it a go, but always do your research. I wish I'd done my research before I started taking duloxetine, and my biggest thing with medication is just do your research. Find people that have taken it before, just Google it, talk to people. Put yourself into situations that make you anxious or used to make you anxious. You are in control. Again, it's like we talked about, you can't be afraid of situation. You can't, otherwise you'll just get stuck inside, and you get more scared and more anxious, and then when you do finally come to face it, it's more likely you'll have a panic attack kind of thing. So just be strong and put yourself in those situations. Soft things. My dog usually helps me. He has super soft ears and chest, so he knows when it's go time, it's loving time. I think this one's the best one. No, I think this one's really good. Just having a little hug with an animal it always helps me. It always makes me feel better. What's this one? Have tips up your sleeve to leave a situation. I was talking to my friend about this the other day, and her first ever panic attack, she began panicking more because she was like, I don't know how to leave this situation. I can't leave this situation. And then afterwards, she thought back and thought, do you know what? If I'd have just had a few lines in my head that I could have said, oh, I'm getting a phone call, I need to take it, or I just need to pop to the loo. Like I said, it's so hard when you're having a panic attack to think about something so simple as that. So having that ready in your head, or maybe if you're with a friend that you trust, have a little code line or a code word, so you're not having to say, I'm having a panic attack, we need to leave, but they just know that you need to just get out of the situation quickly. This one I've been seeing a lot recently. I haven't tried it yet or anything, but it seems interesting. I thought I'd pop it in. So when you're having a panic attack, notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Or eat or drink something that you know is going to be like sweet or sour, and just try and explain it and notice in your mouth what it feels like and what it tastes like. Yeah, it's just taking your focus off of the panic attack and outside of you into the room you're in, kind of thing. And then I thought I just need to scroll down. If you're watching this video because maybe you don't have panic attacks yourself, but someone's come to you and they have panic attacks, I thought I'd just pop a little few tips in that my friend helped me out with, come up with, and so my mum came up with one too. So the biggest tip we come up with is just try and stay calm yourself. It can be really scary if you're with someone having a panic attack, and if you start panicking as well. It's just 2 people having a panic attack. So just try and stay calm yourself. Try and stay in control and keep them calm. But saying that, try not to tell them to calm down. It's just not just not that helpful. We're telling ourselves it when we're having a panic attack. It's like telling someone to be anxious not to have anxiety, or someone that's depressed not to have depression. Don't make assumptions on their behalf. I thought this was a really helpful one that my friend came up with. Don't tell them what they need, or try not to tell them what they need. Don't, try not to say you need water or you need to go outside. Say, would you like to go outside? Do you think you need to go outside? Unless, obviously, they are really losing control and you need to take control of the situation, or that they've prior told you that they like to be told what to do when they're having a panic attack. This is the one my mum came up with, and she always does it with me when I have a panic attack, is subtly trying to change the subject. Don't make it obvious. Don't say, oh, we need to talk about something else. But just when I was having one the other day, she took me outside and started asking me about my job. And before I knew it, I was much calmer, just because I found myself just talking about my job, just thinking about the shifts I had that week. And yeah, she just subtly kept me talking and tried to keep my mind off of it. And also, one of the biggest things you can do to help someone is just try and calm their breathing down. That is often, for me anyway, not for everyone, one kind of where my panic attack starts and how it escalates is my breathing. If I can get control of my breathing, I can often get, keep the panic attack down to a minimum. And it's easy for your breath to go out of control. So what my mum did with me, and kind of what those apps do as well, is instruct you how to breathe. So we're going to breathe in for 7 seconds, hold it for 5, and breathe out for 7 seconds, or however many seconds work for you. Yeah, if you can do it with them as well, it'll make them feel less alienated. Like literally breathe in with them, or talk them through the seconds. Yeah, I just think that's a really, 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 really important one. So that is all of my tips and tricks. There are hundreds more out there. Do your research. Instagram's got loads of little nice quotes that I saved and screenshotted if I'm ever having a panic attack. Yeah, Google's got loads of good stuff. Thank you so much again, everyone that contributed to this. This wasn't just me that put this one together, it was loads of people, and it felt really cool getting loads of advice and tips from a load of different people. And yeah, we'll see you next time.